Hey yo, Peat'Zah here, and welcome to Captain Crumb's Wallet Challenge. The rules are simple. Make a wall 14 meters long by 6 meters tall. You can use anything as long as it's vanilla, and then post your contribution to their Discord. Link to their video below. Let's get started by putting in a bay window. I'm sure many of us have made this before, but hopefully I can show you something new with this one. We'll frame it out like any other, starting with the outsides and working towards the middle, for reasons. This bay window will double as a seating area, and we'll fill it in quick and dirty using beams to cover up any leftover gaps, then add armrests. Why not? I think that'll be just fine. Let's add some signs without text. They kinda look like couch cushions. Or not. At least they help add some visual interest and change up the wall texture. I'm going to challenge myself to use one trophy from each biome. I want to use them as something different, like using neck trophies facing away from the viewer. There, the throw pillows. Nice. We're going to make this seating area actually functional by placing stools so they clip through the rabbit fur carpets. This is a very finicky process. Too low, and you'll not be able to interact with the stool. Too high, and it will not allow itself to be placed, so you gotta get it in that just right Goldilocks zone. There, that should do. Next we'll add some glass and cap off the top. Almost done. Let's get some curtains up. Curtains have tassels, right? Let's give the curtains tassels using Verger trophies. The proper pronunciation is Verger. Say it with me. Verger. Very good. We needed to sink the armrests a little lower to show them off. Valheim, yeah. Looking good. Okay, we've used trophies from 2 biomes so far. You have probably already seen neck trophies used as pillows, just like you've already seen wraith trophies used as hanging jackets. But let's do that anyways, using an armor stand as a coat tree. Oh wow, it actually looks better than I thought. But the scale is all wrong, so let's do something different. We'll make a contemporary coat rack shelf sort of a thing, and spend too much time adding little details so the setting feels lived in, and the coat rack feels used. The aesthetic is definitely leaning towards contemporary residential, so let's add an accent wall. There, that should do. Lately I've been having fun by layering banners and trophies to create house sigils. We'll use black to signify the night sky, then pop down 4 item stands like so. We'll add our stuff, and there we have it. The sigil of the 3-wolf moon. Okay, what else can we do to this wall? We'll add a little niche here. This is a bit of classical Greco-Roman architecture. Niches often held a statue or a fountain, something along those lines. For this one, we'll add some candles. Wow, the candles are totally metal. They might be a little too hardcore for this homey aesthetic. We'll leave them for now and see how we feel about them later. Let's address the top section by taking another cue from classical architecture and adding a frieze. That's F-R-I-E-Z-E. In the most basic terms, a frieze is a horizontal strip of decorated wall, typically above the eye line. A frieze will usually have an alternating pattern with the subject matter and style changing based on culture and era. But geometric patterns and floral motifs, animals, and depictions of people are common throughout. All done, time for the critique. The mishmash between classical and contemporary architecture is a bit awkward, but it looks nice, so we'll give it an 8 out of 10. I could play with it a little bit longer to tighten up a few things here and there, but this is fine. Now, based on Captain Crumb's description, this meets the challenge. However, because the focus is on the decorations and the decorative elements, and not on the wall itself, I don't think that this really fits the spirit of the challenge. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Now let's try again and do better. To help direct my focus on the wall, we will be building it from the outside. To create interesting builds, depth and texture are key. I started with 1x2 stone wall sections, and I'll be using that 1 meter depth to our advantage. For texture, I'm going to try to throw every wall texture Valheim has at it and see if they look good all mishmashed together. Check this out. We're going to place temporary pillars to trick the stone blocks to stay in place. Nice, it's holding. Now we can continue with the build. Here, I'm sectioning off parts of the wall to create a repeating pattern. Next, I layer in the different types of screen walls before adding the crystal. Personally, I think the Verger metal walls look nicer when layered with the iron cage. They both need that little bit of extra noise the other one brings. We're almost on to finishing touches. Let's get the cordwood texture in here. Nice. It ties the top and bottom together really well. Some fanciful lighting, and some more glazing. Now we're on to the last bits. And there you have it. The outside wall of a fantasy medieval department store. Huzzah! Okay, let's critique. By playing with depth, creating an alternating pattern, and changing up the textures, we were able to make a relatively simple build pop and come to life. It's just a 14 section of wall, and yet it starts to tell a story. For looks, I give this one a strong 9. For staying within the spirit of the challenge, I think you'd agree, 10 out of 10. Let's do one more, but this time I want to distill the challenge down to its most basic concept and make just a wall. I don't want to make the interior of a house or the outside of a shop. I want to make a wall that's its own thing. I don't want it to be propped up or made interesting by decorations or varying textures. I want to make a wall that has one texture, one color, but is still dynamic and interesting to look at. A wall that will challenge your preconceptions of how you can build in Valheim. I started building tree houses using this method before the Hearth and Home update came out, and I'm excited to revisit this style. I don't have a formal name for this type of building, I just call it wild style. I like trying to make the timbers weave in and out of each other. It reminds me of the cable knit designs of Aran sweaters. Using nothing more than 26 and 45 degree beams, along with snap points and a few rotations of the mouse wheel, you can make these walls look like a net with a loose weave, or a magic eye poster, or a bird's nest. Building like this is like exploring. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna find, or what the final look will be, but as I place the timbers, shapes emerge, and take on form that I did not plan for, or expect. Go on, make your own. It's fun, and surprisingly relaxing. If you're still watching, wow, you're so cool! Special thanks to Captain Crumb and all the folks who hang out poolside. If you'd like to say something nice in the comments, that'd make me really happy, and I hope to see you all again for the next Valheim Build Challenge.